In your background, in your family, were issues of language, culture, identity sort of taken seriously in your family?
I went through a phase where I really struggled with my culture and like who I was, and being surrounded by peers who are not of the same like culture as I am, who didn't have the same morals as I did.
I go early to fiestas and I go help. I do this and I do that. I do all the things that Chamorro does, but it was just kind of a thing that you were taught, but never something you like understood why, something like you acknowledged. But as I started kind of going out and learning for myself, becoming more interested, like these little things that I was doing, these like little practices, these traditions, I grew to like understand and appreciate them a lot more.
I did not have the luxury of being brought up with the Chamorro language, so as of right now, I'm on my journey to learning being a fluent speaker in the Chamorro language. And yes, if you ask me if it is harder, then I would definitely say yes.
What would you say was sort of a moment of the awakening of your consciousness in regard to these things, right? Because some of you have said like you didn't, you weren't taught the language. When did it feel like you should know the language, or you didn't really think about Guam's political status? When did you start to feel like, what was it that brought you that epiphany, that sort of moment?
I was always heartbroken to learn about what the Spanish had done on Guam, and the loss of culture and language and like certain aspects of it, and certain traditions and histories. And for me, I think that was in part like a deterrent for learning the language when I was younger, because I was like, oh well, it's really just Spanish mixed with whatever's left, whatever they took away from us is gone. That's how I felt when I was a kid.
Definitely recently, with the help of like social media, I've noticed this uprising in the arts in Guam, which is amazing, and like mental health awareness, which is just I'm so proud of it. I see like the uprising, like the younger generation, about decolonization and like using our natural resources on the island.
Once you make that connection, like I want to help my people, I want to be involved in furthering our community, right? It's like you can't really do that if you don't know where you're coming from. I know that's said a lot, but you can't do that if you don't know the history and you don't have that connection. You're not just a person working. You're a part of a community where everyone's working together.
They live here in America, so it's kind of hard to have that drive and that motive to want to learn the culture when all you're doing every day is speaking and living the American life.
Just even around that subject about the military presence on Guam is so difficult to broach with my elders, because they feel that their safety relies on that presence.
People just are against it because they don't really see the bigger picture of it all. My grandparents have been through enough. My parents have been through enough, and I can't believe we're still going through this. Being in a circle at a fiesta and being able to talk, being a part of the conversation, for me, now that I've like not only learned words, but learned history, learned people, learned stories, learned more traditions and cultures, being a part of the conversation means not just being on the receiving side at the end, but being on the giving side, teaching people what I've learned.
And Yuntihita pues Hadzi. If it's not us, then who?